Meeting for October 9th, 2019. I hope everyone is doing well. We're here today with Jorge, Andreas, and Sylvain. I want to start this meeting by giving a shout out to our newest friend of Add-ons, BJ Urbison. BJ joined the content reviewer team about 2 years ago, and he has been awesome in providing reviews of content submissions to AMO. So he is one of our first responders to spam submissions, making sure that spam gets rejected quickly from AMO, and also making sure that content listings hosted on AMO are compliant with Mozilla's acceptable use policy. So thanks so much for all of your contributions, BJ. We really appreciate them. All right, we have a couple of updates for this week. Number one, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up that the Add-ons product team is going to be in London in about 2 weeks. We'll be there for the staff will be there a couple of days for a planning meeting. So we'll be reviewing some stuff that we'll be reviewing our 18-month plan of making the Add-ons ecosystem more secure. So kind of catching up with measures that have been taken to date and what that looks like going forward. So we'll be doing some 2020 planning at that meeting. We'll also be hosting a community meetup with a handful of developers of recommended extensions on addons.mozilla.org. We're specifically interested in talking to members of our ad blocking community to get their feedback about Manifest v3 and web request. So that's our focus this year, is talking a little bit about the recommended extensions program, what's going well, what could be going better, how should it move forward in the future, and then also some questions about like API planning and strategy. So if we have some outcomes from that meeting, I'll be sure to share them in this call in the future. So what that means is that we're probably going to be canceling our next community meeting because it is going to be when the product team is in London and things are going to be a little hectic. So I'll go ahead and update the calendar. So just a quick heads up about that. If you're in London, or if it's easy for you to travel to London, I highly recommend that, and you're available, I highly recommend that you join us for the Mozilla Festival. It's a really great event that's hosted by the Mozilla Foundation, which is the other branch of Mozilla. So over at Firefox, we're the Mozilla Corporation, but the Mozilla Foundation does a lot of really great work and sponsors a lot of really great work that advances Mozilla's mission. Mozilla Festival is a really great opportunity to get together with a bunch of other enthusiasts and advocates for the open web and see what awesome things they're working on to make the web open and accessible for all. A lot of fun. And also, we'll be there and we'd love to talk to you. The next thing I wanted to say is that this week we're going to start sending out communications to developers of search engine add-ons. Search engine add-ons are our last supported legacy add-on for Firefox. I think they're just XML files. Might need one of our more technical participants to back me up on that. But Firefox is going to be dropping support for them in an upcoming version. So we're going to be removing them from AMO on December 5th. So we'll be emailing all developers who are affected by this and sending them instructions for how to update their search add-on to a web extensions based extension that will change the user search engine if they install it. So just a heads up that is coming down the pike. A lot of these add-ons are really old. A lot of them are probably abandoned. But if you get any questions in the community, we should have a blog post up within the next couple of days that we can point people to. A couple of days ago, Jorge sent some emails to the dev add-ons list talking about our planning process. So he recapped our Q3 goals for AMO and progress that was made against those goals, and also what is currently planned in store for Q4. So some things that we're looking at this week is, or this quarter, sorry, not this week, is a redesigned developer hub on AMO that's going to link a little bit more explicitly to extension workshops so developers can have an easier time finding the documentation that they need in order to make their Firefox extensions successful. Abuse reports are getting moved into Firefox. We're continuing to make security improvements. And we're going to finish up the add-on code manager project. So thank you to all of our add-on code reviewers who have filled out the questionnaire that we sent out last week asking for your feedback about the code reviewer. That's been really helpful. And I know the engineers have been really happy to see those survey results and talk about them. And then there's one project that on the table to change the way that usage stats work for add-ons. So right now it's a little bit unreliable, and the way that we would update it, I think the update would use telemetry. I'm gonna ask for a quick double check from Jorge on that. Sorry, Jorge.
You're muted, I think.
Can you hear me?
Now
yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, what was the question?
Okay, just wanted to double check the usage stats is going to be, if that project moves forward, we're going to be using telemetry for the usage
If it
stats.
does, yes.
Okay, just making sure. Didn't want to be saying anything wrong. So that, but that's at risk based on, because there's quite a full plate for Q4. And as we have learned in the past, Q4 tends to be a particularly short quarter when you factor in holidays and time off for holidays. Any questions about AMO plans? Either the Q3, like what happened in Q3 or what's on deck for Q4? Okay. We should also be seeing a new homepage for AMO coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we wanted to align the new homepage redesign with the release of Firefox 70, which is going to be going into the release channel pretty soon, later this month. So it's going to be, I know there's going to be some more interesting visuals with that. So keep your eyes open for some changes to the AMO landing page, or homepage, sorry.
Another question regarding the code manager. The form you sent us last week, will we have some feedback regarding the questions or things that we would like to be changed? If the engineering team wants to do it or not, and what are the reasons?
Yeah, that's a good question. Jorge, have you talked to Stuart about that?
Sorry, I'm back channeling about another thing. Can you repeat the question?
No, it's all good. So for the add-on code manager questionnaire that we sent out, have you talked to Stuart about anything that they want to take action on that was received in the survey results?
I don't know anything about that survey. Was that shared with them?
Yeah, well, it came from Stuart and it went out to the code reviewers.
Oh.
Yeah, and just to close the loop. Okay, so Sylvain, that is a really great question. Let me follow up with Stuart.
Thanks.
So I think the plan is to collect some more responses, filter them, and then start filing bugs for the things that we think make sense. We can, I think, also summarize the results we've seen. I think our group knows each other well enough that we should be able to do that. And yeah, I think everything will be public on the repository that you probably know of. So good start might be to just follow the issues there. Or if you have specific things that you would like to see, feel free to file an issue. That's always happy to do that.
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, but we could definitely close the loop there. So thanks for asking about that. So Extension Workshop went live on production last week, which was pretty exciting. We're still in the soft launch phase where we're collecting feedback from some folks. So we're expecting to be making changes for probably the next 2 or so weeks. There will, of course, be changes going forward in the future, but just in terms of kind of cleaning up some things before we start making a lightly bigger fuss about it. So it looks like what we're going to be doing is going forward, we're going to be planning on pushing new releases on a weekly basis, kind of around the same time as AMO. So we're looking at the Thursday morning Pacific time slot as the push window. It is not going to be part of the AMO Push Heroes duties. So the Extension Workshop push will be handled separately from the AMO push. And in the event that we need to do a fast release because we have some information that needs to go out quickly, or we have information that needs to be taken down because it's no longer relevant and it needs to go off of the normal release cycle, we are able to do that. So we're still kind of, so this week is going to be our first regularly planned release on that project. So that's kind of the cadence that we're looking at doing going forward. We've had some really great contributions to Extension Workshop. When we announce it publicly, I'll be sure to thank everybody who's made a contribution to it up until this point, because it's really been fabulous. And I don't think we could have gotten it live onto production without the help and support of our community. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their involvement with that. But one thing is that because we have limited engineering resources on it, we're actually not going to be accepting patches for bugs that are not tagged contrib welcome or contrib good first bug. And that just applies to Extension Workshop. That doesn't apply to our other projects. It's just that the website is our engineering resources are really limited, and if code gets pushed to it, that it could potentially break some other things down the line, and we're just trying to be a little bit careful with that. So we're going to be directing folks back to other add-ons good first bugs if they're interested in working on something, and no good first bugs on Extension Workshop are available. All right, any questions about Extension Workshop? Okay, awesome. And then because we've been seeing a little bit of chatter about it, I just wanted to let folks know what's going on with Lightbeam. So Lightbeam is an extension that it was developed and maintained by Mozilla. Right now, we're in the process of integrating some of Lightbeam's features into the browser itself. And so to relieve the maintenance burden of Lightbeam by the individual engineers who are responsible for it, we're going to be discontinuing support for Lightbeam and removing it from AMO. I have a meeting today with Cindy, who is responsible or who's on the protections team, a protections product management team, so we can get a clearer idea of what specific features from Lightbeam are being migrated into the browser, and what features are not, and also get a timeline on when that integration is happening, so that folks kind of know what release to expect them with. So I'll be able to circle back with a quick update about that. But if you see folks asking about Lightbeam in the community, the answer is that we're working on integrating features of it into the browser itself. And if they have more specific questions, like we saw something earlier today where someone mentioned that there's a long-term study it's being run that uses data from Lightbeam. So if you see anything like that, please feel free to escalate it to us, and we can kind of talk to those people one-on-one. But general community members, yeah, just feel free to let them know that things they are a-changing. Those were the biggest highlights of that came across my desk over the last 2 weeks. Are there any questions, or is there anything else anyone would like to share? Okay, well then I think it's going to be short and sweet today. As always, if there are any questions or comments that folks would like to give us, please feel free to post to our forum or send us an email. I'm pretty sure that my IRC bouncer is not set up correctly. So I'm working on that. But if you are trying to get a hold of me and can't, please feel free to use another channel. And I think that's going to be it for this week. All right, everyone. Well, have a good Wednesday, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.